All right, what's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Let me know if you guys can hear me now. Right, let me know if you guys can hear me now. I believe you guys should be able to hear me. Right, we should be good to go. We should be good to go. But overall, like I was saying, guys, welcome to today's session. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys once again, because we are back live, guys. I feel like last week, since I didn't actually go live with you guys last week, I feel like I haven't been live on YouTube in forever. Right, and I missed you guys, man. I missed all y'all. I missed you guys all, family. So I'm back. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys once again. Again, the reason why I was not live last week is because last week was boot camp week, right? So we did have the Pro Trader 5-day Pro Trader boot camp that went live last week, guys, where I went literally in depth on four different specific main topics that we really have to master in order to really, level up in our trading overall. And it was a banger. The boot camp was, again, another banger boot camp, guys, where I know for a fact a lot of people have been getting massive value, right? Like, these boot camps, guys, are so in depth, are so thorough that you're going to have to rewatch the recordings numerous times, right? Because you're not going to be able to pick every single thing up on just watching it that first live time. No, right? You're actually going to realize you're going to get a lot more on the recordings, right? Actually going back and rewatching it. Because we're talking about 2.5, guys. We went almost 2.5, 3 hours, pretty much almost on every single day of the boot camp this past week. So I know for a fact there's a lot of value that was provided, guys, on each specific day as a whole. But overall, it was absolutely amazing to host a boot camp for every single one of you guys that are serious about learning. I know for a fact you guys are all going to go ahead and really see a lot of improvement in your trading overall, especially, the more you study the boot camp, the more you actually apply what you learned. You're really going to start to see a lot more results and a lot more consistency, guys, coming up very soon. So big shout out to every single one of you guys that were a part of the boot camp. I appreciate y'all. Love you guys so much. And yeah, I look forward to just seeing you guys' growth overall. All right, but let's see what we got in the building with us tonight, family. Go ahead and drop your locations. We got the boot in the house. I see we got Michigan in the building. What's going on, Mike? Good to see you in the building today. All right, let's see. Eric, 168.34. I went long on GJ. We clearly seeing buyers coming in the market. Yeah, I'll take a look at GJ for sure, Eric, and I'll let you know exactly how I'm going to be approaching GJ. Because GJ did have a very interesting morning today where it actually gained a lot of strength and lost a lot of strength, and it started gaining a little bit more strength once again. So we're definitely going to take a look at that, and I'll give you guys my opinion on what I believe GJ could do pretty much to go throughout this entire week. So, yeah, let's see what we got with that for overall. All right, but let's see who else we got in the building, family. We got Australia. We got Phoenix in the house. What is going on, family? We got the boy Skaggs in the building. What is up? I work at the time of the boot camp. Can I buy the recordings? The recordings will actually be available for sure. I just still have to edit a couple of videos, right, just to make sure that it's pretty much takes out all the unnecessary stuff. But yeah, the videos will be available for purchase for anybody that does want to just purchase the boot camp directly. Yeah, it will be available. Just give me a couple of days to actually edit the videos itself, and I'll let you guys know exactly when it is available for those of you guys that want to just purchase it right now. Because I've been getting a ton of, guys, today alone, I've easily gotten probably like 20 different messages from people asking for when the next boot camp is going to be, when the next boot camp is actually going to occur. As of right now, I really don't know. I'm planning probably maybe September, maybe October. I'm also even debating on not just doing it myself, but even hosting like a joint boot camp with myself and a few of my other trading buddies that I have on board as well that are going to be pretty much working with me directly in this new project that we're about to launch. So that would be next level, right? Imagine having access, guys, or being a part of a boot camp that now is not just me providing value, but now you're going to have access to also a few different educators that are profitable, that are doing this consistently and are absolutely next level, right? So if that's something that you will be interested in, if you'll be interested in a boot camp like that, that's going to give you direct access to a lot of real value, then yeah, just look forward to it, because it definitely is going to happen probably soon for sure. But like I said, I'll update you guys on all that, guys, because I did get a lot of requests for the next boot camp date, and yeah, I'll let you guys know whenever I do set it up. All right, in the meantime though, let's see what else we got here. We got Brother O, who on my way to the stream of income. My brother O, what's going on? Good to see you in the chat. We got Chicago, we got Jersey, we got Arkansas, Burbank, California, New York in the building, Alabama, Brooklyn. My brother Danny, what's going on, bro? Good to see you. We got B More in the building, Rotterdam, Arizona, Houston, Texas, Southside, Chicago. We got the boy Bert in the building, Baltimore. Stand up. I see you guys. What is up? Jamaica, Grenada, Dubai, Savage Land, USA. We got big queens in the building. What is going on? OKC, Tampa, Chicago. What is up? What is up? What is up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's stream. Super excited to be here with every single one of y'all. Where can we buy the boot camp? Would be great. You're gonna have to send me a message either via Instagram or via my email, and once I do have it ready, I'll be able to give you an update for it for sure. All right, so let's see. Trinidad and Tobago, I see you guys. What's up? Can you give signal right now? Brainy trader. I haven't even looked at the market yet, right? So no, the answer is no. All right, once we actually take a look at the market, see what pretty much has happened over the past 12 to 18 hours, right? Because I haven't looked at the market since this morning's New York session, since I pretty much stopped trading. So we'll see what happens. We'll take a look at the markets, and if there is something, then we'll definitely call it out. And yeah, I'll give you guys my biases and my opinions either way. All right, let's see. We got ATL in the building. What is up? What is up? We going full Hogwarts University out here. We got India in the house. What is going on? Shout out to you guys as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick look, guys, at the overall economic calendar really quickly, just to pretty much see what we have on the radar for this week. Again, if you guys did not actually pay attention to my live, or not my live, actually, yeah, it was live, right? My live video, guys, that I did on Sunday, giving you guys my weekly outlook. Highly recommend you guys to go ahead and rewatch that. So far, everything is doing exactly that we have expected so far of the market. So it's definitely good just to see, my thoughts, my ideas at the beginning of the week, to now compare them to what the markets are actually doing. Because yeah, there is times, guys, where at the beginning of the week I have a specific bias, but based on data, based on certain events, based on how price is moving, that bias can absolutely change, right? And that's very, very normal. In fact, your job as a trader, guys, is to be able to actually, be aware of when it's time to adjust, right? Based on data and based on logical reasons. So when you guys do watch that recording at the beginning of the week, and then throughout the rest of the week, you're actually watching the updated, analysis, it could give you a lot of confidence as to what you're actually looking for and what you actually should be doing yourself as well. So, just a little tip right there. Definitely go ahead and rewatch the beginning of the week video, but then compare it to how, we're pretty much going throughout the week for sure. All right, so that is pretty lit. All right, so let's see what else we got here. George, my guy, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the 10. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I appreciate you, George. If you have anything that you need analyzed, that you want me to pretty much take a look at for you, definitely let me know, George, and I got you. No questions asked, my brother. I appreciate you so much. Let's see. Oh, I got my silver icon. Yeah, shout out to that boy Skaz. He has made it, I believe, 2 or 3 months. I got to see exactly what. I think it's 2 months though, or 3 months, where you actually get the silver tag, right? You are now a silver member. I appreciate you. Right, we got the boy Rob, silver member as well. Moray, silver member. Shout out to all my silver gang. I appreciate y'all. All right, fam, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the markets overall, or not the markets, but the actual news events. We're just going to take a look at the ones that we have today. I'll take a look at the ones for tomorrow as well, but let's start off with what we got today. So we did have some data actually got released earlier in the morning for the pound. If you guys did look at the pound itself, guys, the pound itself actually had a very interesting start to the morning overall. Right, we really didn't do nothing overall overnight. We did see this little dip that broke structure, then immediately rebounded. And then, yeah, a New York session opened up, and I mean, pretty much a lot of these different pairs, guys, gained massive strength against the dollar as a whole. So, now, was this caused by, PMI data that getting released? I don't think so necessarily, because this was released, again, like 4 hours before, 5 hours before New York session started. But overall, I just think that this pullback was something that was expected, and not just for the pound, but for a lot of assets or a lot of currencies as a whole. Right, so we'll definitely take a look overall, go a little bit more in depth, guys, on a few of these pound pairs as well once we do get to that point. But another news event, guys, that I did want to just talk to you guys about was new home sales. Right, again, this is something that I've been telling you guys about now for the past few weeks, guys, that the real estate market right now is at a point where it's in its own recession. Right, where we should start to see, guys, a lot of a major downturn in real estate activity as a whole. Right, and just looking at this data right here, new home sales, guys, that actually just got released is literally, proving just that. Right, I've been telling you guys that we're going to start to see a lot more people actually, or a lot less houses, available, a lot less sales occurring across the board. We're going to start to see, the real estate market, guys, go from what it was, where we had literally not enough houses on the market to account for the buyers, to now we're probably going to see too many houses on the market and not enough buyers, right? And it has to do with everything that we're experiencing, right? A big reason, guys, why that real estate market is now going backwards, and which is why probably we're again in a real estate recession, has to do with what the Federal Reserve has been doing to try to combat inflation, right? Inflation, guys, is the reason why these houses were also selling at 30, 40, 50% above asking, right? These houses, guys, the housing market itself was completely inflated tremendously. So that itself was also causing inflation to continue to rise. So when they actually started to raise interest rates, now it made it harder for people to actually have access to lending. It made it more costly to also have access to lending. You know what's crazy, guys? Right? Just based off, what is the mortgage rate now? Because interest rates have been going up, the mortgage rate has also been going up across the board. So you got to think about it, guys, right? Anybody that has, purchased a house, say over the past few years, right? Past year, 2, 3 years, they're now seeing their mortgage, right? Which again, at one point, their mortgage rate was extremely low, probably 1 to 2%, 3%, to now it being around 5, 6%. So now they're seeing their, their mortgage bill, their monthly mortgage bill, right, go from say $1,200 a month to now $2,000 plus a month, all because of interest rates going up. Okay, so again, there's so many different factors, guys, that are really playing into now the overall real estate market taking a downturn. But it all has to do with literally on how the Fed is fighting inflation. Okay, so this whole thing with inflation, guys, is absolutely impacting every financial market. Okay, stock market, crypto market, Forex market, real estate market, right? All these different markets out there, guys, are getting affected by how the Federal Reserve is pretty much reacting and how they're pretty much deciding to combat inflation. Now, us as Forex traders, yeah, obviously, housing sales and things like that isn't going to really affect us directly. But what this does do is this does not bring any type of confidence into the market as a whole, right? Because now when we're starting to see less people actually being willing to sell, or less houses actually selling as a whole, right? Again, that is not going to allow spending to occur as a whole, right? In order for our economy to stay strong, right, consumer spending has to happen, right? Consumer spending also falls with real estate. Real estate falls under that. So now when we do start to see that, again, continue to go backwards, we are starting to experience a lot of less spending, right? We also need to be aware of how to trade this stuff. So again, yeah, home sales isn't going to affect us directly, at least in this market, but it is going to also go ahead and bring either confidence or it's going to bring fear into the markets. And whenever there's confidence in the markets, in the overall space, then yeah, the markets are going to, react a certain way, right? Indices are going to fly, right? Stocks are going to fly. Cryptos are going to fly. Dollar is going to lose value, right? When there's confidence in the market. But when there's fear, right? When there's uncertainty, when there's doubt, then yeah, the dollar is going to fly, right? Stock market is going to collapse. Indice market is going to collapse. Crypto market is going to collapse, right? It's the same thing that we've been preaching here for the past few months now, right? So a similar concept. This right here does not bring confidence into the markets, right? As an investor, you're going to look at this and really not going to have that much confidence, right, in the overall real estate market, which is also going to pretty much correlate into the overall market as a whole, right? So overall, again, this is something that we've been expecting. They actually did have a major miss on new home sales, and I expect that trend to possibly continue for sure, right? But overall, guys, that's the news that we actually had on the radar for today. For tomorrow, we do have core durable goods, which is also going to be something that we could possibly take advantage of the volatility that's going to come from it. We do have pending home sales, and then we also have crude oil inventories for tomorrow overall. Right, so that's pretty much just the news that we have for today and tomorrow. Overall, it's nothing too crazy, right? That's on the calendar, but it's just always good to be aware, guys, of what the heck is actually happening for sure. Right, so let's see what else we got here, right? Let's see. Good evening, bro. We here. Shout out to my brother George. What's going on, brother? I appreciate you so much. What is going on? Let's see. Abel, I resent message on Instagram Sunday, but I still not added. I'm not sure what's going on, Kel, because I did go through all my messages on Instagram. And I tried to respond back to every single one. Just continue to just send me another one, right? Like right now, and I'll check it. Right, but let's go ahead and see now, guys. Take a quick look at the markets and see what we ultimately have got going on here, and see what we can really, what opportunities we can figure out and find to going into tonight for sure. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do, as usual, is go ahead and take a look at the dollar index as well. something that I just love to do, guys. Probably one of my the first thing that I do is I always take a look at the dollar. I really want to see what the dollar has been doing overall, just because it is the currency reserve of the world, you know. And if we can figure out what the dollar is going to do, then we have a good idea as to what other currencies could potentially do as well, right? But looking at the dollar, guys, what have we ultimately done? Pretty much exactly what I expected. You know, we did see a lot of momentum really come in to start the week. We did come up into this area of structure. I'm not even going to call this a supply zone. I'm just going to call this very simple, just regular structure for this. Just because, again, this is, you know, just a regular high right here. Now, what I think is going to happen, though, guys, I think that we will eventually, at some point, end up breaking this high, right? We will eventually end up breaking this high right here, right? Whether it just actually starts to happen right now off rip, you know, because it is possible for prices to continue, guys. I mean, we did see, you know, a little pause in the market over the past 24 hours at this level of structure. But overall, again, that's not evidence stating that directly we're going to see this thing absolutely give us a deeper correction, right? I mean, the market could very well easily, guys, just continue in that bullish trend as a whole. It is very possible, right? Market going to do what it want to do. Or, you know, the other flip side is that we do give ourselves a little bit of a deeper correction before we continue, right? That is also very possible as well, right? So very simple. It's either we're going to continue probably going and then possibly continue, or what I really want to see is I want to see price come back down to around this level here, around the 106.8, 107 level for the dollar, and then eventually go ahead and really continue its bullish dominance that we've been experiencing. Now the question is, are we going to actually be able to see price correct though? I don't know. I'm not psychic, right? If I was psychic, then I would be $1 billion trader already, right? But I'm not psychic. Obviously, the probabilities is there that there is a possibility that we actually see price pull back down. And if it does happen, we just want to be prepared for it more than anything, right? So that's pretty much what I'll be focused on more than anything, is more so just, you know, being aware of it. If price gets down, then cool. We don't know exactly what to do, right? If not, then we can also just see if price is going to really break this and then possibly continue overall. But yeah, you know, overall, I'm leaning towards a possible pullback to then continuation higher. That's what I would love to see. All right, that's my general blueprint, my general, you know, overall outlook of what I want the dollar itself to do. Okay, so short-term bearishness for long-term possible bullishness. Okay, that's the big thing. But there all is a chance for prices to really just go ahead and continue. And if it happens, it is what it is, right? We might be able to play a little break and retest type of action if it does end up running these highs. All right, but let's go ahead and go to lower time frames, guys, now for the dollar and see what we're really doing here. All right, so back up at these highs right here. You know, obviously this is a very significant level of structure. You know, we have this in the past where the market has given us a pretty strong reaction from. You know, price has definitely come back up into this level. We did also really just give us a very interesting rejection from that level right there. Now, is it possible for this rejection to be the start of the move lower? I mean, it is possible, right? I mean, now that we're starting to go to lower time frame, we're able to really start to break down, guys, what price is actually doing, right? So yeah, it is possible for price to realistically come here, retest this level, and start to make its way lower, right? And that's obviously going to lead towards dollar weakness, right? Dollar weakness is going to lead to strength across the board for pretty much over every other currency that we have, right? So if we are, and again, hypothetically speaking, if I am going to expect the market to drop from here, then that means I'm expecting dollar weakness. If I'm expecting short term, keep in mind, short term, I'm not expecting this thing, guys, to go forever, right? I just think there's a chance for price to make its little way, you know, make its way down a little bit more, probably right back down to this little demand zone that we have here. That would be pretty lit. Right, and then from this demand zone, we can look for more bullishness. Okay, but yeah, this is what I really want to see. If we do see price drop, though, this is telling us that there is dollar weakness. Dollar weakness is going to lead to what? Well, if we're talking about a pair that begins in USD, we should expect that pair to go down. All right, if it ends in USD, we should expect that pair to go up. And we're talking about if there's dollar weakness. Come on. That is if there's dollar weakness. All right, so if we do get this pull back down, then this is how we can look at the currency pairs that we're going to be trading. Again, guys, trading is all about simplicity, right? I say this all the time, right? It's all about keeping things simple and just understanding the correlation between currency pairs and the DXY, the dollar index itself, can literally save you so much time and energy when it comes to actually analyzing and marking up your charts. All right, that's why it's probably the first thing that I end up doing, right? Once I do create my fundamental and sentimental bias first, then I come to the dollar index and I create my overall outlook of what I believe the overall currency market is doing, right? And then when I have my fundamental, my sentimental, and my bias from the dollar index itself, see, then I go to pairs like Euro USD, gold, and all these other things that we're actually going to trade. And then we have a general idea of what we really should be looking for, what we could be looking for overall. Right, so that's pretty much why I like looking at the dollar, guys, and why I like breaking it down. You know, it's a part of my process, a part of my routine. You know, it does make things a little bit easier for me to identify exactly what could potentially really happen. All right, but yeah, that's what I want to see. You know, I would love to see if price can actually go ahead and make its way lower, you know, from these potential levels that we're actually building at right now, right? Probably back up to around here. Again, there is a chance for price to just run this. And I'm going to be honest with you. For some reason, just because, again, the dollar strength is real, right? Dollar dominance has been real. And we clearly just shown evidence that the dollar strength really is here. So we do have to just keep in mind that there is a very good possibility that price does run this. If I'm being honest with you guys, for me, I would be very cautious trying to look for the shorting opportunity here for the dollar. Just because, again, going against this type of momentum in a market that is already super bullish is a little bit risky, right? It's an extremely risky situation to do. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If for anybody that is looking to short, you know, just keep in mind you are technically shorting against a super strong bullish trend. All right, so you know, if you're comfortable with those risks, if you're comfortable with that situation, then by all means do your thing, right? It's your account, you know, you risk whatever you want to risk on it, and yeah, just deal with the consequences. But you know, that's just something to really consider, guys, and think about for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and see now and take a look at these actual currency pairs, guys, and see what we pretty much got on the radar, right? Starting with Euro USD. Now let me go ahead and catch up with the comments real quick. I think the dollar is going to go higher. The dollar is definitely going to go higher. It's just a matter of if we're going to see this short-term pullback first or not. All right, but I'm 100% still expecting dollar strength. You know, as long as the sentiment has not changed, guys, as long as there's still a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, a lot of chaos, as long as we're, you know, in a recession, as long as, and this is probably the easiest thing, right? Just write this part down. As long as the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates, continue to expect the dollar to gain strength. Okay, I don't think dollar weakness is finally going to show itself, like long-term dollar weakness, until we finally get a U-turn with what the Federal Reserve is actually doing. Okay, a big reason why the dollar, guys, is again so dominant right now is because it's getting fueled by what the Federal Reserve is actually doing, right? By the actions that they're taking, the monetary policies that they're actually trying to implement. Okay, so as long as the dollar, or as long as the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates, we are still going to remain risk-off sentiment. Now, family in the chat, right? Family in the chat that knows exactly what risk-off sentiment is, or what currencies are going to benefit from risk-off sentiment. Can you please go ahead and answer that in the chat real quick for everybody that's newer? Right, big shout out to all of our newest family members in the building tonight as well. I appreciate every single one of y'all. If you guys are getting some value tonight, go ahead and smash that like button for your boy. I definitely appreciate you for doing so. You know, just smashing the like button, guys, does help me out tremendously, believe it or not. You know, it helps with this content getting spread out to a lot more people, a lot more viewers, and that's pretty much what one of my goals is to really go ahead and get expanded to a lot of viewers. So I appreciate y'all. All right, so the question that I asked here, though, guys, right, is as long as they are raising interest rates, we need to remain risk off. Risk off sentiment is what? All right, let's write this down. Risk off sentiment, or what benefits in a risk off sentiment environment. We're talking about US dollar, all right? government bonds. All right, we're talking about even things like gold. Typically, gold has not been acting like it lately because obviously dollar has just been so dominant, right? But these are like the main ones. You can obviously throw maybe in the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen in here as well, right? But the main ones, guys, that have really been risk off is the US dollar, government bonds, and yeah, that's pretty much mainly it. Just US dollar and government bonds has really been the thing that's been benefiting during this entire chaos of a market. Now, normally, again, gold typically usually does fall under this boat, but gold has not been acting like that against the dollar, right? Which is why I'm just going to leave it off. And the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen, again, very similar. You know, they're just getting absolutely walloped against the US dollar, so they're not acting like that safe haven-ish type asset like they normally do. So overall, guys, the things that benefit during a risk-off sentiment, which a risk-off sentiment means turn the risk off. Go safe, right? Go safe haven, right? There's too much uncertainty in the market. Turn the risk off, right? That's what risk-off sentiment means, to turn the risk off. When there's a lot of fear, when there's talks of recessions, when there's chaos, when there's talks of negative GDP, when interest rates are going up, when inflation is through the roof, all of that is what leads to risk-off environment. All of that is what's causing investors and traders across the world to liquidate a lot of their riskier plays like stocks, cryptos, commodities, things like that. And they're going to the safer plays, US dollar and government bonds. Right? And we also know, guys, that a lot of people are also turning to these government bonds. Well, let's take a look at government bonds. Right? I'm going to bring up just the 2-year and the 10-year treasury bonds here, government bonds that we have here. And if we really look at the 2-year, right, the 2-year bond is paying out at 3.315%. Now, how do we know, right, that we are in a risk-off sentiment? Well, we compare the 2-year bond to the 10-year bond, and we see which one is paying a higher return. Right? Whenever the 2-year is paying a higher return than the 10-year, which is exactly what it's doing now, that is what causes the inverted yield curve. Right? But that is also a way to predict a recession, which is also going to lead to risk-off environment. So whenever the 2-year is paying out more, a higher yield than the 10-year, then yeah, normally that is definitely leading towards risk-off environment as well. Okay, so that's just something to really consider, guys, and think about as well. You know, especially if you want to say utilize bonds as a way to try to predict these markets, because that's also a way that a lot of traders and investors do predict movements in these markets, is by looking at the bond market as well. So that's just something to consider. You know, whenever the 2-year is paying out higher than the 10-year, more times than not, that usually leads to a recession. That is what's called the inverted yield curve, and that is also saying that we are in risk-off sentiment. All right, so I hope that made sense, guys, from risk-off sentiment, especially for all of our newer traders in the building, because that is something that is very, very important. Sentiment is the name of the game, right? Understanding sentiment is the name of the game. All right, is the name of the game, okay? So let's go ahead and go back to it. So Euro USD, guys, like I said, I'm still expecting this thing long-term bearishness, right? Long-term bearishness, but there is a chance for us to experience short-term bullishness. All right, so we are at a very interesting level right now, guys. If we take a look at this thing from the monthly perspective, right, the Euro USD on the monthly, you know, we're literally at a level now, guys, where we had a pause in the markets for about 2-3 months, right? Actually, for longer. This is around 5 months, right? So we literally stopped in this level for 5 months back in 2002 for the euro. We're now finally retesting that level. Now, what does that mean? Well, this is an area, guys, where we could expect demand for this asset to potentially come back in. Now, again, we're looking at this thing from the monthly. Right now, we're on a very, very big time frame because I need you guys to understand exactly what is really going on here. Now, I normally, guys, do not come to the monthly unless we're about to test monthly key levels. Right, and that's exactly what we're about to do. So again, this area right here, it could realistically act as an area, guys, that finds demand for the euro and does push us back up higher. If we do get that push up back up higher, well, yeah, this 1.05 level is easily going to be the first area that I think we're going to be able to target. So again, right now, yeah, we could expect some short-term bullishness to come in, but in my opinion, that's only going to set up for more continuations lower either way. Right, so long term, still bearish. Right, if we look at this thing, I mean, this thing has just been absolutely on a downtrend. I mean, it's been like this for a while, if we're really being honest. You know, literally for, I mean, years now. Right, since 2008, we pretty much has been correcting. Right, but if we look at this thing, guys, from an even bigger perspective, again, keep in mind the bigger picture here. Right, what has really Euro USD been doing from the bigger perspective? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. All right, so now we're coming back down to here, creating a new higher low. So again, from a big perspective, we're talking about going back 40 years, right? 40, 50 years, all the way back to 1970s. Euro USD technically has been more so in a very long-term bullish trend. It's just we've been in this very strong downtrend more recently. So I mean, overall though, guys, what I think is going to happen here for Euro USD is I think that we will eventually find some support, and we will be able to potentially experience higher pricing here for Euro. All right, so that's just the moral of the story. I'm definitely going to be a lot more cautious and being aware of what we're actually doing here in price. But yeah, you know, I do think that there is a chance for us to start to see, you know, some higher pricing here for Euro USD. Right, so let's go lower time frames now, guys, to see if there's anything that is actually standing out. You know, so again, we did actually end up running these lows right here, but look at the reaction that we actually got. You know, we actually spiked below this low. You know, we actually got a little decent bullish reaction, guys, from these low as well. You know, that could be something, right? You know, this could be something right here. You know, this sign of strength could be something, right? We actually had a nice little pop out of the markets from this level, so it could, right? It very well could. Now again, it's a little risky, right? Even though it is possible, you know, we are at a level where we could, again, you know, potentially find some monthly demand. It's just hard to really try to trade this type of play going against this type of momentum, right? Like, I get it, you know, we got the nice spike up. Abel, bro, look at this big old bullish candle, bro. We broke structure, right? You know, there is a chance for us to continue higher, and there is a chance. There really is. But again, just right now, I just don't have enough evidence, guys, to really want to look for. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I don't know. For Euro USD, I'm just gonna be sitting on the sidelines for this one. All right, I'm gonna be sitting on the sidelines because I get it. You know, there is a chance for price to go higher, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen from this level. It's just selling against this is just so hard to do, right? Super hard to do. The only way that I would take this opportunity, guys, for this buy to maybe try to predict this reversal is probably going to be right off of this little demand zone right here, where this buying power really did start on a smaller time frame. And the only reason why I would take this is just because the risk to reward is just going to be so good that it makes sense and is worth it. But I will be taking this with the expectations of it probably end up losing. All right, like realistically, me speaking, again, you know, I'll take this trade, you know, risking 2%, just because the risk to reward is going to be good, right? But I'll probably end up be taking it, you know, with the expectations of it actually having a high likelihood of actually end up stopping me out. All right, so you know, that's just my 2 cents here, guys, for Euro USD. There is a chance for price to go ahead and continue. Now, if price though, and this is something to keep your eyes on, right? Because this could very well happen as well. If price actually ends up running this low though and stops me out, right, and we end up breaking below this demand zone right here, right? If we actually break the demand zone to the downside, see, yeah, obviously the buy is not going to work, but all that's telling us is that the weakness, Euro weakness, is still very much here, right? And at that point, we just look for a pullback, and then we just try to go ahead and align ourselves with the bigger bias anyways. All right, so that's how I would be doing it. Okay, I'm going to initially be looking for this little buy off here, seeing if I can get it. If it doesn't work out, I'll accept the loss, and then I'll just go ahead and say, nope, clearly we still have a lot of selling pressure for the euro because we ended up breaking this demand zone, and then I'll just go ahead and look for more selling pressure overall. Right, so that's you know, pretty much my play here, guys, for the euro. So we'll see what market really ends up doing, and we'll just deal with the consequences. That's all we can do as Forex traders, guys, right? Is figure out these opportunities, right? Create the setup, manage our risk, manage our emotions, and then deal with the actual consequences of the outcome. All right, that's really what it comes down to, right? If I win, it is what it is. If I lose, it is what it is, right? That's literally what it comes down to. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Bonds market do well in risk-off environments, 100%. Let's see bearish gold, NAS, and BTC. Bullish, yeah. Let's get it, Donnie J. Let's see dollar up, stocks, crypto indices down. Yeah, you guys are all on point now, right? I don't know, guys. Like really answer this question, right? Does your guys' understanding now of sentiment and fundamentals, right? Even just the information I've been giving you guys, especially if you went through the boot camp with me, you got a lot more in-depth versions, right, of you know, fundamental and sentimental analysis. But even the stuff that I do teach here on YouTube, guys, right? Have you guys actually gotten, you know, some value from this, right? Like, has it actually helped you out in your trading? Yes or no? I'm actually genuinely curious to see what your guys' thoughts on, you know, just understanding sentiment as a whole, right? Sentiment and fundamentals, the way that I've been breaking it down. Because for me as a trader, somebody that's been trading for 7.5 years, 4, maybe 5 years, almost full time now, right? And just now, over the past 1.5 to 2 years, taking this thing serious, at least, you know, fundamentals and sentiment, it really changed the game for me. Or like, it really changed the game for me. Like, absolutely it did. Right, it now made things so much easier, right? Because now I'm approaching these markets, guys, and I have my general idea in mind before I even mark up a chart. Right? See, what 99% of you guys do, and I'm not saying that this is wrong, right? But I will say that it is making it a lot harder, right? But what 99% of you guys do is you guys come to the markets and all you really do is focus on, you know, if my trend line is gonna hold, right? If my support and resistance is gonna hold, you know, how my supply and demand is you know, is structured, right? And all that stuff makes sense. It really does. But the most important thing is understanding what, you know, is really causing long-term directional flow in this market, right? And that is in the data, but more importantly, it's how the investors and the traders and the big institutions out there, right, how they're interpreting that data and the sentiment that they're creating off of that data, right? Because when you get the data and you have the sentiment around it, see, now you're aligning yourselves, guys, with that smart money, right, with the big boys. That is the game changer, right? That is the game changer. Okay, my trading has improved tremendously over the past year because now I don't have no issues with understanding long-term direction because I know exactly how to read these damn markets now from a fundamental and sentimental perspective. So it just changed the game for me overall. All right, so let's see. Been super focused on my new stuff. Did you release a new boot camp, right? So we actually just had our last boot camp last week. It was an absolute banger. Absolute banger. Oh, just an update as well. For all of you guys that were a part of one of them, a part of any of my boot camps, and if you're not in the actual new community that I just created on Telegram, right, our new boot camp Telegram chat, please go ahead and message me ASAP so I can get you added into that Telegram chat as well. I did actually email everybody that was in the boot camp the actual Telegram link, so please check your emails as well, and you can probably find the link from right there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and see now, guys. So this is a possibility here for the euro. Again, just keep in mind, you know, this is definitely going to be a lot more aggressive of a play. Just because look at this, like look at us, like trying to buy against this. It's just very, very hard to do. Very, very hard to do. So just keep that in mind, guys. Right? This is definitely probably not going to end up playing out. So just something to consider. I think that there's still more of a. There's always a chance for this thing just to continue in the overall trend we've been experiencing. So yeah, that's where we're at here for the euro. One thing that I would be comfortable with, though, right? And this is something that we could probably set up going into tonight, probably into tomorrow. This is something that I will actually be interested, guys, here for the euro, right? What if we actually seen price end up coming back up here, though, and maybe we could look to, you know, to go ahead and sell this market from these levels right up here, right? This is a possibility, right? Maybe seeing if we could see price come back up to around this level of structure, you know, previous support. You know, we ended up having enough selling pressure to break that support. You know, but this previous support right here can now act as newfound resistance, right? We do have a little area of supply up here as well. So yeah, you know, if we do see price make its way up here, this could be something, you know, that you guys can look at. Just, you know, nice little intraday opportunity here, guys, on euro. This is something I would be very comfortable with doing now, right? I will be a lot more confident, guys, with looking for this sell off right here, right? Catching this little short sell off, even if it's just down to this demand zone, right down to here. Even if I'm more comfortable with selling down to the demand zone, right? So catching the sell here off of this little small supply area to down here, than I am actually trying to buy off of the demand zone, just because we had this massive move up. Okay, and the only reason for that is because, again, the overall bias, overall order flow, right? Fundamentally, I'm still very much bearish to euro. So looking for this will be a lot more confident for me than trying to look for the buy. So this is what I'm going to be looking for going into tonight. Looking for something like this. Looking to sell it around 0.996, right? 0.9962. Looking to sell it from there. Could be a very nice opportunity for us to go ahead and short it. And then, again, we can stops above here. Short right back down to the demand zone. 3.5 to 1 risk reward. That's not bad, right? Risking 2% to go for around 6%. I'll do that every single opportunity that we get. Every single opportunity, right? But it is possible, right? It is possible to see price, make its way up here, and then I just feel a lot more confident with that move than actually looking for the buy. Let's see. Yes, I have a much better understanding. Let's go, right? It's made me stay consistently profitable. I love that, Donnie. Let's get it. Honestly, I have not got it yet. Still working at it. It's coming, Timmy. I promise you, right? You just got to keep on working. And as you continue to gain more experience, it's really going to make a lot of sense for you. Let's see. Could you read my comment? We'd love to hear your opinion. Yeah, I got you, Eric. Let's see. We'd love to hear your thoughts regarding the China real estate and how it could affect the U.S. if their economy collapse causes, because that's a major issue. It could affect us pretty bad. Yeah, you're 100% right, Eric, right? So when it comes to like that whole situation with China and like the Evergrande, I believe is called the Evergrande. I forgot the name of it. I think it's called the Evergrande, something like that, right? Just know, guys, right now, like, China is going through a lot, right? China is literally about to default on trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of debt. And they're really going to start focusing on themselves more than anything right now, right? So the way that that's probably going to end up affecting the U.S. is because, China is definitely one of the biggest buyers of U.S. debt, right? So a lot of the U.S. debt that we actually have, right, whether it's U.S. bonds, U.S. treasuries, whatever the case, mortgage-backed securities, whatever it is, right? China is actually one of our biggest buyers of that. So now what China's actually planning on doing is they're actually stopping the purchasing of U.S. debt, and they're actually starting to sell off a lot of U.S. debt now as well. So what's really happening is with China, this whole situation with China and just how they're dealing with their stuff, right? It's causing them to now liquidate pretty much debt across the board, right? Not just U.S. debt, but whoever other countries' economies debt that they own, they're pretty much trying to sell it off. So now we're going to experience, guys, an influx of supply for, a lot of different, bonds and government-backed securities and treasuries and things like that. So, yeah, we should see overall some type of an impact off of that. How much of an impact? I'm not sure, right? I don't know if, if their economy fully collapses, obviously that's going to play a major role across the board, because we're talking about China is, the hub, right, of, exporting, right? They literally do a lot of exporting across the board, and they literally do a lot of the manufacturing for products across the world. So if they're experiencing something bad, then hell yeah, it's going to affect a lot of us, right? The biggest thing is probably going to, not just the financial thing, but it's going to disrupt, supply chain issues, right? Because now if a lot of different companies start to default, a lot of people start to get fired. Now we see a lot, massive unemployment start to occur over there. So now these warehouses and these factories are all closed. So now a lot of these products that are made in China are not being sent. So yeah, that can definitely be affected from that, for sure, right? So, but overall, it's definitely a very interesting topic that will have some type of effect on our markets for sure. So yeah, maybe it's definitely might make sense just to be a little bit more aware of that for sure. Right, but that's what it is, Eric. Right, I hope that made sense. All right, so where we get at that boot camp, right? So the boot camp itself, guys, is going to be available for purchase sometime in the future, right? Probably next week. I just got to do some edits to the videos, remove some things that don't need to be in there, and then it'll be available for purchase. Or what you can do is, like I said, I'm actually planning my next boot camp. Probably going to be sometime in September, maybe October. I don't know yet. You could also just wait for that, which is next month, and be a part of that as well if you wanted to. All right, let's see. I want to see the little supply area be taken out before the sell. Yeah, very possible, right? This thing could just come right up to this level and then go ahead. I just think that that is a very nice opportunity here for euro. Right, so I'm gonna keep this one on my radar. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few more assets or a few more currencies, guys, and see what we got going on here. So we got gold. Again, gold pretty much did exactly what we've been predicting since the start of the week. Literally on my Sunday call, I told you guys that I wanted to see this thing just continue to roll over to the downside. And we've literally been doing just that. And I think that there is a chance for price to continue to make its way lower eventually. The question is, again, similar question like we have here for the euro. You know, do we actually experience a deeper pullback, you know, before we actually go ahead and run these lows? Right, that's pretty much the main question, guys, for a lot of these pairs that are ending in US dollar. Right, so like gold US dollar, euro US dollar, you know, pound US dollar, AUD US dollar, NZD US dollar, right? They're all going to be very, very similar. You know, the correlation is still there against the US dollar, which is the strongest currency, right? So, you know, same concept. You know, is there a chance for price to actually go ahead and pull back some here for gold to then go ahead and give us an opportunity to continue shorting this? Okay, because that's really what I would love to see happen here for gold. Is just a deeper pullback. That's going to allow us to go ahead and position more shorting opportunities here. If we're looking at this from a bigger perspective, right? I'm looking at here for GJ now, or not GJ, for gold, and I'm trying to see now. All right, if we are going to pull back, right? Where can we pull back from? Are we at a level of structure that it makes sense for us to pull back from? Right, that's the first thing I'm looking for. And I mean, yeah, we are at an area of structure where we did get a nice bullish engulfing as well on the daily time frame. So there could be some bullishness that could come in. Right, so now the next thing that I look for is, all right, where can we actually see this thing potentially go to? All right, so now that we do have an area where we should expect a reaction from, which is what we expected, right? We got a nice little reaction from here. Right, but where could we target from? So if we did look for an entry inside of this, you know, this candlesticks right here, where could we target? Right, that's the next question. Well, for me, what I would like to look for, guys, is I'm now going to be looking also to the left, right? So yeah, we want to look at, you know, key levels here inside of all this, right? Because we do have, again, some key levels that were built up in here. We can also use structure to the left, all right? So what I want to see is I want to see if price can actually make its way up to here. Right, probably around the 1773 level. You know, if we can see price push up to 1773, then that could be an opportunity for us to go ahead and really, you know, look for some more shorting here, guys, for gold overall. Right, but I hope you guys see how I did that, right? It's not too complicated, all right? So overall, first thing that I looked for is identified where we're at in terms of price. I know the overall flow of this market right now is down, but where we are in terms of price. Well, we just seen a nice strong sell-off back into a level of structure. All right, so where are we at? The second thing is, where can we expect price to go? Right, I want to see price at the very least make its way up to around the 1770s level. Right, 1770s. So now we have an area where we can expect a bullish reaction from. Now we have an area that we can expect a target where we can expect price to go to. See, now it's all about going to lower time frames now and finding that entry. Right, so now if we are going to actually look for an entry to go bullish here for gold, where will we be looking at from? The demand zone down here. Right, where did the actual momentum for gold pick up? Down here at these lows. So if price can make its way back down here, right, and if we do start to see some bullish candlesticks and bullish reactions, then yeah, this can be an opportunity to go ahead and send us higher. All right, but just like I said with euro, keep in mind, this is a counter trend move. Okay, so you are technically going against the overall flow. So it is a little bit riskier. But for some reason, I truly think that we could be at a time where we could see a pullback on the dollar itself. All right, so if we do, again, let's look at the dollar. If we do see a pullback on the dollar, then everything that we're seeing right now should play out exactly the same way. Pull back on the dollar, I would like to see gold strength come in. All right, gold strength. But if the dollar itself, guys, just says nope, we're just going to continue going stronger and stronger and stronger, then yeah, then we have to expect gold just to continue in this bearish trend itself. Okay, so that's just something to keep your eyes on. Keep your eyes on it. Be aware of it. You know, again, there is a chance for price to react off of this demand zone down here and send us bullish. Right, there is a chance, but we are overall bearish. So there's always there's always that chance as well that we just end up breaking it. But again, same concept, guys. Even if we do end up breaking this, accept the loss if you took the trade, and then look for the rebound. Right? Because if we end up running this demand zone, right, then there's a good chance that we're probably going to end up seeing prices come all the way down to around a 17-13 level instead. Right? All the way back down to these lows. And that could just be an opportunity that you can go ahead and look for some shorting on as well, right? If it doesn't actually work out. So that's just something to look at, guys, for gold. Again, a lot of these pairs are probably going to be very, very similar overall, especially these dollar correlated pairs. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's see. Let's see. I have a sell bias on GBP NZD as it broke in its retesting structure. Can you give me your bias, please? Yeah, I got you, Mario, for sure. All right, so this is gold. Like I said, if there's anything interesting, I might want to look for just this reaction like that for gold. All right, let's see. GBP NZD, you said. Yeah, let's go take a look at GBP NZD real quick, see what we got here. Pound New Zealand. All right, so you said I have a sell bias on Pound New Zealand as it broke in retesting structure. All right, perfect. All right, so looking at Pound New Zealand, guys, and we're seeing here, and as you guys can see, the first thing that I did, right, since I have I don't know when was the last time I really marked it up. I did have some markings here, so it was probably a few months ago. But either way, right, if we're just now coming to the charts for the first time, guys, to analyze a pair, always get in the habit of going to the higher time frame, right? That's the first thing that I do. I always go to the daily, and I always like to just give myself a nice little general feel of what the market has been doing by zooming out, right? Zooming out, zooming in, right? Get a general feel of what the market has been doing. So me just looking at GJ, I could see, guys, that we haven't really been doing much from a bigger perspective, right? Ever since 2017, I mean, we pretty much just been in this big old little range that we've been experiencing here for GJ. So the question that you, or not the question, but what you said is that you're looking for a sell opportunity here on GJ. Okay, right? Now, if you are looking for sells, where are you going to be targeting for these shorting positions from? Because I see what you're looking at. Right, we had this nice little sell-off right here that ended up breaking all of this structure to the left. Right, we ended up pulling back now, so you're looking for the continuation, probably lower. I see that, trust me, I do. Right, very simple break and retest. But right, like realistically, where can we potentially target this thing if we are looking for shorts? Right, obviously back to the original lows is probably going to be a safe play. And if price does end up, say, running these lows or coming to those lows, then I think that there's also a good chance for price to even make its way even lower. The only thing that we have to be mindful of is that, again, the market really has not done much, guys, for GN. Like, we really have been super range bound for the past 4 years now. So just keep that in mind. This pair does move very choppy. So, but yeah, do I agree with your sell though? I mean, it's there. You know, we did end up breaking structure. We came back up, retested numerous times, so there is a chance for this thing to really sell off. Now, where would I be selling off from? Well, I like this area right here, right? I really do like this area. Yeah, I think this area will probably be a decent area to look for some shorts from. So around maybe the 1.913 level is where I would be interested in it. If I was looking to short NZD USD, it would probably definitely be yeah, something like this maybe. And then target right back down to these lows. All right, not a bad opportunity here though. You know, something like this, see price push up into here, and then go ahead and start giving us lower pricing. All right, so that's what I'll be looking for GN if I was going to trade it. Now, again, keep in mind that's just my opinion, my bias. I'm not actually going to be trading this pair, but you know, I will give you my outlook on what I think it would actually happen, or what could actually happen. All right, so yeah, you know, that's where we're at for this one. Overall, it doesn't look too bad though. It really doesn't. All right, so let's go take a look at GJ now. Since we just looked at pound New Zealand, let's take a look at pound yen. All right, now GJ is very interesting, guys, right? In fact, we actually had a very good looking opportunity here on GJ that actually missed my entry literally by 3 pips. Right, so when we're looking at GJ, guys, at the start of the week, let's go back to the start of the week, look at this thing from the bigger perspective. All right, overall, you know, looking at GJ, we're still very much, guys, just been going sideways, right? If we look at this thing, guys, for the past few months, you know, GJ has been like trapped inside of this pattern right here. Right now, again, I just drew this, you know, trend line right here just to show you guys the overall wedge that price has been pretty much trapped in. Right, and we still have been just trapped in here, like literally not doing much. Over the past week, we really haven't done much. Now, overall though, I still believe we have upside here for pound yen. Right, so I'm still very much, guys, looking for opportunities to buy pound yen. Right, this is probably going to be one of my favorite opportunities going into tonight and into tomorrow, guys, is looking for an opportunity to go ahead and go long on pound yen. All right, so what I'm looking for, and we're actually at very interesting levels as well, guys, for, you know, this this move here. Right, but let's see what we can see. Right, so I would like to see price, you know, maybe come right back down to this level of structure right here that we've been playing off of, which is actually going to happen very, very soon. Right, this could literally happen like I mean ASAP. Right, but yeah, you know, once we do get back down into this level, right, you know, I would love to see some bullish reactions from that. So if we're able to see price come down here, guys, and we see it start to slow down, then we see like a shift in structure, shift in momentum, then that could definitely give us some opportunity to go ahead and see some higher pricing here for GJ. But I just like how this thing is working, right, and what it's been doing. I do believe, again, we could see, you know, some bullishness really come in, guys, for GJ. So I would be looking to go long here around GJ, around these levels, around here, around 161,400. You know, that could be a really, really decent opportunity, guys, to look for some higher pricing here for GJ. And we're talking about this thing can realistically, like, really start to fly, right? Because we're looking at this, guys, like this thing, if we do go back into like a bullish trend for GJ, right, which is very possible, and let's say we start to target all, like, we're talking about, you know, 4, 5, 6, 700 pips moves. You know, and it's all because now we're at levels of structure support, guys, where we can realistically find some entries from. So if we do get a bullish entry here for GJ, if I can get a bullish entry here for GJ, guess what I'm doing? I'm holding. I am holding, right? I am going to be holding that position all day long, right? All day long, right? Because, again, I think there's a good chance for us to really see price actually go ahead and start to break out, for one, out of this little trend that we've been seeing, right? Like, really see a break out of this little trend, and then, you know, see this thing go ahead and give us a lot more higher pricing. So that's what I'm gonna be looking for GJ going into tonight, guys. You know, a bounce off the 161.400 level definitely looks very, very juicy in my opinion for GJ. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Do you see the market have a big impact if the GDP numbers come out negative? I'm not going to lie. I put a short position option on SPY 500. I do see the stock market crashes based on my fundamentals. Right, so I do think that the stock market is going to continue crashing. I don't think that we're even close to being done, like at all. But when it comes to the GDP, guys, right, you have to keep in line, right? Especially if we're talking about GDP for this week. Right, because we do have, actually next week, I mean, right, we do have GDP quarter over quarter for Q2. Keep in mind though, right, this is more so just a revision to the Q2 numbers that came out last month. Okay, so the markets are already reacted to the fact that we actually did come out at a negative number. Now, if the revision comes out positive for some weird ass reason, for some random reason, so then, yeah, that is definitely going to shake the markets tremendously, right? But I don't see the revision coming anywhere near any type of positive. If anything, it's still going to be in a negative, which overall the market has already been pretty much priced in for that, right? So, yeah, there is a chance for GDP to move price, but it's going to have to be like a major miss, right? Like they got to revise this number to come out positive, which is going to bring in a lot of optimism into the markets, but I don't see that happening whatsoever. All right, so just keep that in mind, though. This is more so just a revision of the numbers that came out last month, which for us, we already got it. It came out negative. Okay. Let's see. Hey, can I just purchase the fundamentals day of the boot camp, day 3? Oscar, shout out to you, man. Yo, that boot camp day number 3 is next level. But yeah, you know, individual days as well, guys, will be up for sale, right, for any of the boot camps. Now, they all are, yeah, for any of the boot camps, right? But yeah, so if you do want like a specific day, you know, whether it's fundamental sentimental day, technical analysis day, mindset day, risk management day, those are all separate days, all separate recordings. you will have access to that as well, and you will be able to purchase it if you ever want to in the future. All right, so yeah. All right, let's see. George, my guy George, I appreciate you so much, George. Thank you for the $5 once again. You are a absolute beast, and I appreciate you so much, man, for showing so much support and love. Let's see. Can you have a look at oil, please, King? I know there is news coming out this week sometime as well. Yeah, so we do have crude oil inventories coming out tomorrow, right, which will probably be the thing that is affecting, or that will definitely obviously have some type of effect on oil. But oil overall, again, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really done too much research on it. But I know my boy Skaggs has been looking to buy oil, and is expecting, I think he said expecting oil to continue to go higher. Skaggs, if you're still in the chat, bro, can you tell me what your predictions for oil are in terms of pricing? Do you, like, how far do you think it's gonna go? Just so we can have some type of insight, because that's really your thing more than anything, is that oil. That boy loves oil. But if we are being honest, guys, for me, from a technical perspective, though, what we really could see, right, if we actually end up breaking above this 95 level, right, like if we can end up breaking and close above 95, then a retest back down to that level, guys, can really trigger, you know, higher pricing here for oil as well, right? So for me, if I were looking for it, yeah, I would need to see a break of this 95, right, a break and close above, you know, 95, 96 level. That will give me confidence in bullishness for us to continue. Right, because yeah, we could see it, but overall, you know, we still have been, you know, in this little more so downtrending channel, right? So I will need some type of evidence before I look for any type of buys, personally speaking, right? So I need to see a break and close above this level right here, right? This entire level of structure will be absolutely a fire level, right? Previous levels of support turn to previous level resistance. If we can go ahead and run that level again, then I just think that level is going to be utilized as an area of support once again to then go ahead and send us higher. All right, so that's my opinion, though, George. Yeah, and I hope you were able to get some value from it. All right, but that's what I think can happen for oil overall. And I'm going to stick on a bigger time frame for this one, just because, matter of fact, we can go a lower time frame as well. So if we were looking for an opportunity here on oil, guys, to actually go ahead and look to get in now, right? Because now you guys figured out exactly what my bias is. Again, long term, I would like to see this thing bullish and to eventually break this 95 level. But is there an opportunity for us to actually go ahead and get in? Right, well, yeah, you know, if we can see price come all the way back down, right, then there is a chance, guys, for price to absolutely go ahead and react, you know, maybe after this, you know, this wick fill right here, right, after we see price come back down and come to this level, there's a chance for price to really rebound from here off of this level of structure. Right, reason I say that is because, again, I'm keeping things simple. I clearly see that we have a lot of buyer demand for oil that really started to pick up even more right at these levels. Right, we have this big old wick followed by massive shooting up. So there's a good chance for price to come back down here, right? And just very simple supply and demand. You know, if we've seen an increase in buyer demand at a certain level, we can assume next time we come back down there, right, that there can be a lot of unfilled orders that will probably get filled, which will send price right back up to the upside. All right, so that is definitely a very possibility for oil. If I'm looking to now get a re-entry, it will probably be down somewhere around these levels, around 91, to then go ahead and go higher. All right, so that's oil. All right, let's see. Let me catch up with the comments. Right, hey, right, can I? Yep, I was thinking the good CPI data was going to pull the dollar down all last week. Was I missing something? Or is it investors are still fearful long term, right? So there's definitely still a lot of fear. I mean, CPI actually came out. What did CPI come out as actually? Let's see. Was it last week that CPI came out? Let me see. I can't remember. So it came out. Yeah, it actually came out a little bit lower, right? But again, the big reason why, you know, we're still expecting dollar strength, or we're still seeing dollar strength, is not the fact that we actually came out lower from CPI. This itself should have caused dollar weakness overall, which I think it did end up creating like short-term dollar weakness. But it's still the fact that the Fed is still raising interest rates, right? So again, yeah, this is important. We want this number to absolutely go lower, right? The lower this number continues to come out as, the more confidence we probably will have overall. But even though this is still even if we do start to see this number continue to go lower, right, as long as the Fed is still raising interest rates, we're still going to experience dollar strength, right? Which is what I mentioned in the beginning, right? Because yeah, there's a lot of different factors, guys, that could bring in, you know, dollar weakness short term. But as long as the Fed is raising rates, we're still going to be very much bullish the dollar, and that's just been how it's been, and there's just no reason to go against that whatsoever. And that's exactly why we've been, you know, very accurate, you know, because we've been just keeping that in mind overall. Okay. So let's see, GU. Yeah, I got you, G. Let's go take a look at GU real quick. Let's see what we got here. All right. So again, GU is going to be very similar, guys, to my EU and to my gold. You know, we're overall very much bearish this thing. We are at a level right now where we could experience a possible correction, right? Area of support. You know, so there's a chance to actually go ahead and experience this thing up. I'm not interested in the buy per se, right? I'm not interested in the buy. I'll be more so interested in the selling opportunity. Just because, again, like I said, with, you know, even with the euro, you know, again, yeah, there is a chance for price to pull back, and I do think that there is a good possibility for it to occur. You know, we actually did get, again, a very decent sign of strength right out of that level. That's all good stuff for, you know, dollar bullishness. I just rather, and this is just me, I'll rather just wait for the market to actually do all this nonsense and then look for the shorts up at the supply level, as opposed to me trying to chase, you know, this counter trend buy opportunity. And a big reason why I say that, guys, because I want you guys to really start to be, you know, very picky and choosy, guys, with your actual setups. You know, just because we have a strong bullish reaction off of this, off of support, and that just because there is a small chance for price to go higher, doesn't necessarily mean you have to just force the trade in, right? Again, for me, I'm more comfortable selling from up here than I am buying down here. Now, you guys are probably thinking, well, Abel, bro, if you're confident that's going to get up there, then shouldn't it just have to buy? Necessarily, yeah. But I'm not confident that price is going to get up there. I don't know what price is going to do. Right, and this is the thing. This is what we really have to understand, guys, as traders, right? I don't know what price is gonna do, right? I'm not too confident that price is gonna make its way up there. But if it does go up there, though, see, then I'll be able to go ahead and react because I prepared myself for it. Okay, so yeah, you know, overall there is a chance for this market to actually go ahead and go higher. There's also a chance for this thing just to reverse and continue going lower. But yeah, I want to set up myself for opportunities to short. Right? I don't have no interest, guys, in looking to buy pound dollar right now. I just want to make sure that I'm prepared for the actual selling opportunity when it shows itself. All right, so let's see. Index pairs had a nice reaction. Sells, but love if we can pull back to visit the lows. Let me hear your thoughts. All right, so the index, yeah, all right, if you're talking about like the actual like a dollar index is what you're talking about, you're talking about indices, right? Because I'm not sure if there's confusion, right? Are you talking about like the actual dollar index, Eric, or are you talking about like indices like NAS, US 30, S&P? Let me know. What do you think about AJ, right? Let's go take a look at AJ. What's going on, Tina? I hope all is well on your end, Tina. Appreciate you being on here with us today. Right, so let's go and take a look at AJ real quick, and yeah, Eric, I'll check indices right after this, right? All right, so AJ overall, guys, very similar to what GJ has been doing. You know, we see this massive run up. Ever since then, we really have been very, very choppy, very sideways. I think that we're still going to see higher pricing here for AJ. Overall flow lately for the past 2 years has definitely been very bullish. You know, right now we're again just, you know, forming this little compression pattern. And I think that there is, again, a very good chance, guys, for us to eventually really end up breaking out to the upside. Now, the question is where, right? And where can we look for some opportunities to go long from? Well, let me give you guys some bigger, you know, outlooks and bigger perspective of what I think we can realistically do. So what I would like to see actually occur here, guys, for AJ is, yeah, if we can see price come right back down to, you know, this 93.5 level, I think that would be an area where we could really start to find some more demand here, guys, for AJ, right? So I would look to buy around that 93.5 level, right? Shout out to our newest subscriber. What's going on, K Winder? I appreciate you for subscribing. Shout out to you. Appreciate you so much, right? So yeah, for AJ, this, I don't know. I would like AJ maybe back down at these levels down here, right? For me to actually look for some longs from. All right, so that's what I'm looking for AJ. I'm bullish, so I want to look for more bullishness for sure. So off of these levels could definitely give us a nice opportunity to do so. Let's see. So let's go take a look at the indices real quick. I'm just gonna look at SPX. They're all gonna be very, very similar, for sure, right? But again, they're doing exactly, guys. Again, I can't make this stuff up, right? I literally said this stuff literally at the beginning of the week as well during my Sunday call. I said that we are at levels right now where we can realistically start to experience another sell-off here in the stock market and the indice market overall. You know, just because dollar strength is going to continue to cause this to drop, right? Dollar strength, this gonna drop, right? So as long as, again, as long as similar concept, guys, and I know I'm very repetitive, right? But it's very important to understand. As long as the Fed members are hawkish, expect indice weakness. And I can't even spell. Indices weakness. Okay? Very simple. As long as the Fed members are hawkish, which means that they are expecting to raise interest rates. Okay, whenever you hear that a committee is hawkish, that means that they're expecting interest rates to go up. And as long as the committee is hawkish, which is what our committee is right now, our Federal Reserve Committee, committee headed by Jerome Powell, they're hawkish, right? They all expect continuations in this hiking cycle that we've been experiencing. As long as we are raising interest rates, we need to continue to expect weakness in the indice market overall. We need to expect weakness in the indice market, weakness in the stock market, weakness in the crypto market, weakness in the real estate market, right? So again, very simple. Interest rates going up is literally making a lot of these different assets, guys, turn around. So just understand that it's all very simple. It's all the same stuff, all right? So yeah, as long as the Fed members are hawkish, we need to expect indice weakness. So with that being said, if we can see a pullback here for S&P, I will be very comfortable with shorting. I don't want to short from right here, right, at all, because I'm not sure how price is going to react near these levels of structure. Right, again, I'm not psychic, so I don't want to sell right from where we're at. But if for whatever reason we can see a pullback, then maybe we can go ahead and get involved to look for some shorts here. Okay, but we need to see a pullback. A pullback into where? Well, let's use previous structure, for example. Right, so a pullback to this 4,200 level, guys, for the S&P 500, super attractive, right? 4,200 level, 4,200 level looks very juicy, right? So that's what I like right there, guys, right? You know, for the indices, and they're all gonna be very similar, right? S&P, you know, NAS 100, again, very, very similar as well. You know, I want to see more downside here. You know, so maybe if we can see price pull back up to maybe the 13,200 level, 13,200, I would like to see more continuations, right? So let me see, 13,000, yeah, around 13,200, 13,300, guys, could definitely, if we can pull back, all right? If we don't pull back and we just keep, then I don't care for it, right? I don't care. I'm not going to chase it. I need to see a pullback, all right? So pullback to 13,200 on the NAS is looking super, super juicy for some continuations lower. Okay, that's just my opinion over there for sure. All right, so let's see what else we got here. EA, let's go take a look at EA really, really quickly. All right, so EA, guys, I think that we can actually see more downside here for EA. Overall, this entire year, we have been seeing a lot of selling pressure. And looking at recent candlesticks from a bigger time frame, well, we did just have a nice daily candle that actually closed below this level. We are at obviously very strong levels of support, but even after a pullback, guys, I think that we could see more downside here for EA, personally speaking, right? But there is a chance for price to, again, really do give us this pullback all the way up to this supply zone. Okay, so overall, yeah, I would like to sell it from up here. Okay, I would like to sell it from up here for EA. That's the only thing that I'll really become. I don't really trade EA too often, right? So, you know, a lot of these pairs, guys, that I don't trade too often, yeah, I'm not gonna try to, you know, force anything on these smaller time frames, right? Hell no, right? So I'm just gonna find an area that makes sense to me, and then if price gets up there, then and only then I would be comfortable with actually going ahead and selling it or buying it, right? So, but yeah, EA I don't really trade too often, you know. So I would just need to see this thing come up to this area up here, 1.46. And then I'll look to short around that 1.46 level. All right, let's see what we got here for AUD/USD. Yeah, AUD/USD again is again very similar, guys, to pretty much what I've been saying. With a lot of these, you know, pairs, long term I'm bearish. Short term we might see a bullish reaction. But even if we do, I have no general interest and actually looking to buy AUD/USD, even though AUD/USD's buy looks way better than like EURUSD's buy, just because at least we have, you know, this structural pattern that, you know, is one that we've been able to play numerous times, right? So yeah, you know, this one does look way better for the opportunity to maybe catch a little pullback in the markets, but overall, still, I really am a big fan of more so shorting this. All right, so yeah, there is a chance for a price to go higher, but I want to actually go ahead and sell this thing. All right, if we can make our way up to around a 0.7, right, 0.7 round psychological level, then I would like to go ahead and short this and, you know, see lower pricing here for AU. Right, so push up, sell down. All right, so that's just another one I'm looking at, guys, for AUD/USD. Something you can also keep your eyes on for sure as well. All right, can you look at UJ? Let's take a look at UJ, all right, and see what we got here, all right? So, UJ, very interesting. Overall, this thing has just been extremely bullish, all right? Obviously, we can see that. You know, we also did just experience a nice little momentum, or some momentum actually come into play. So, again, very simple for UJ, guys. We're not going to overcomplicate this one at all. I try not to overcomplicate any of them. At least I try. You know, but yeah, you know, a pushback down into these levels around 133.4, 133.5 can lead to a lot of bullishness, right? So, you know, that's what I would be looking for, guys, for UJ. You know, if we're able to, again, this is bigger time frame analysis we're talking about, but if we're able to make our way back into this area down here, 133.5, I really like, you know, the opportunity to go ahead and go long here for sure, guys, right? So that's what I'll be looking for UJ. You know, if we can make our way down here, that'll be lit. If not, it is what it is. You know, price is probably just gonna go into the bullish trend way before that, but that's what I'll be looking for UJ if I was interested in something, right? I'll be looking for more of the long-term buy from down here. Okay, let's see, you're looking for buys since your dollar's gaining strength. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking for. Let's see, why 1770? All right, so let's go back to gold, right? Why 1770, right? Well, I like 1770 just because of the area that we're actually looking at. So again, for me, overall, we are overall bearish here for gold, right? And if we look at structure to the left, okay, if we're entering down here and we're going to target back up to the upside, say we wanted to catch this short-term buy, right? That 1770 level is right up in here, right back up to previous structure. So if we're entering into a buy, we want to get out back at previous structure. If we're looking for a sell, we want to look for entries back at previous structure, right? So that 1770 level is just a super attractive level that I think we could realistically see price. Well, it would be a good area just to get out of the trades, but we can also really see price possibly start to shift and go back bearish as well. All right, so that's why 1770. Let's see. Hey, teaching theory. Couldn't I use a pair like USD peso or USD some other way as like a semi-dollar index? I mean, you can. I've never actually tried that or heard of anybody doing that, but I mean, it is possible, I guess. Let's see. I asked because I heard that the euro is diluting the actual dollar. I mean, it is, right? Like the dollar index, guys, it's made up of what, 7 to 13 different currencies, but out of those 7 to 13. 50+%, 60% of it is literally made up of the euro, right? So over half of the index that's making up of the dollar index is literally made up of the euro, which is why they have such a strong correlation to each other. Let's see. So hawkish is rising rates and dovish is lowering rates. Exactly, Melody. Exactly. Let's see. Agree. Why I'm hearing smart money constant and traders thinking they trade like the banks with this strategy. Very toxic industry. You were right when you talked about the industry being very toxic, not understanding. Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? You know, it's all about just continuing to expand your horizons, right? You know, there was one point in my trading career where all I traded was retail stuff, right? And I was preaching retail, you know, patterns, right? Retail trend lines and support and resistance. And, you know, there was a point in my life where I was teaching that stuff and I was promoting that, right? And then there was a point as well where, you know, I was all in with harmonics, right? Harmonics was the next best thing, right? And then Elliott waves, and then you know, and then smart money concepts, and then, I mean, there's so many different things, guys, that we go through and the different phases that we go through. But yeah, you know, I went through those phases too, right? Where I was thinking that, you know, this was the best way. Technicals was, it's just, again, through experience, you eventually realize what it really is, right? So what are your thoughts on trading on Monday or Fridays? It seems like the market moves on a weekly cycle, setting a high or low Mondays and pulling back on Fridays. So I trade any day that the opportunity shows itself, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are by far the best days to trade, because usually it's just, you know, more volatile, right? More volatility, more liquidity in the markets around those times. So those are the best. Now, can you trade Monday and Friday? Yeah, like I said, I'm trading anything that gives me a good opportunity to trade on. All right, so if the setup is there and if it's lining up with what I believe the market's going to do, I'm taking a trade no matter what day it is. Okay. But besides that, though, family, I do appreciate you guys once again. It does feel good to be back here on YouTube live with you guys all again. Again, taking last week off was needed just because of the boot camp. But we are back here on YouTube. We are back. We're back live, and I'm excited to be back with you guys all. Right, and I will be back again tomorrow, same time, same place as usual, family. You know, because it's time to really go ahead and grow this thing. All right, let's see. Can you check USD Swiss? Yeah, I'll finish it off with USD Swiss as well. USD Swiss is going to be very similar to UJ. I would like to see USD Swiss come back down. I think this area of structure will be a very nice area that we can look for some longs from USD Swiss. Right, so if we're able to see price go ahead and make its way lower, then I like, you know, higher pricing from there. Right, so around the 0.95, yeah, 0.95 for USD Swiss. Let's see. Are you still with I Am Academy? Are you doing your own thing now? I'm doing my own thing, Bryce. Right, I am doing my own thing now. Shout out to I Am Academy. I appreciate them for giving me the opportunity. But now it's really now it's time for me to step out and do my own thing and really take things up a whole nother notch with this teaching thing. All right, but family, I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. I will be back on tomorrow, same time, same place. If you guys are a part of the Inner Circle chats, I will be in the chats with you guys as well. And I look forward to just continue to help you guys throughout this entire process. Family, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's get it.